Welcome back to Casa del Ros for another video or podcast. It's good that you guys are checking us out again. I wanted to take and see if we have another video for you guys. How are you feeling?
Feeling good.
You gotta have more enthusiasm, girl. Come on now, have some more pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? But we want to thank you all for watching the two videos that we put up. So today we're gonna talk about, gotta pick up where we left off last time and talk about being pregnant in high school and how that affected mostly her, but just the overall experience. Hopefully we can
Because I know the last video we ended up talking about how we dated in our junior year and how we started dating
yeah
and how you asked me out. And then starting senior year, we started out pregnant.
we
I
didn't start out
think,
pregnant senior. We were pregnant.
well, I got pregnant in September. So
Oh,
we
senior
started
year,
off
right?
in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it's like a month in to being seniors.
yeah.
We were super excited. It's our last year.
Yeah, I really wasn't anticipating. I remember, I don't know, I got to put up a video. I know one of my buddies, he has a video of me in high school basically saying, I would never get pregnant. That's not me. I can't be
I
that
remember
guy.
that
It would
video.
never happen. And then obviously I look so young in the face. I don't look as fat as I do now, but in the video I was super skinny. I was like half my body weight back then. But I have to find that video, and then hopefully if I find it, my buddy, if he gives it to me, I need to have Judith edit it and put it on one of our shorts or reels or whatever on YouTube. You guys can see what I'm talking about. But it was really a weird experience because I never thought that could happen to us on just how we grew up or how we were raised. How did you feel about it?
I was scared. And it was funny because I had actually told him I'm late. And I still remember he was like, stop playing around. And then I remember he punched me.
Oh,
And then I was like, I cannot forget that. And I was like, babe, stop. Because I really didn't know because I know I was late. And then I think I had a doctor's appointment that same day, right?
yeah.
Because I missed practice. I
Hmm.
left. And then I found out that same day. And I remember my doctor, I've been going to her since I was little. So I think I just went completely pale because she walked in. She didn't even say anything. She just stood right by the door. And then she's like, really, Judith? And I was like, I literally, like, I
So
just
she was
wanted to.
disappointed in you.
Yeah, very. And I remember the first one that I called was my cousin, but I didn't know how to react at all.
Yeah.
And I remember when I left, I think I called you when I knew you were out of practice. And then I think you answered and I told you we need to meet up. Like, we got to talk. And we met up at that Walgreens by our parents' house.
And you know what? Even before that, I think when she felt that she thought that she was, I remember for a whole week I fasted at school. You remember that?
Yeah, that you were
I was
healthy.
like, I thought that I was in my mind. I was like, if I fast, I think this will, do something with Jesus and he'll. You're not you're good. You're good. But I fasted for no reason and it didn't result in anything.
Yeah.
She was still pregnant. So I was like, oh, I didn't eat for a whole week during practice for
Yeah.
just for nothing.
And
So
didn't the following week you start throwing up or something?
I don't know. I don't know if I threw up. I had really bad stomach aches. So I
Yeah.
think that was my mini version of morning sickness. Maybe I don't know. I
Because
know.
I didn't get any at all.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
get any
I know I
medication.
felt bad a couple of times, but I think when she called me, we went to go meet up at a Walgreens parking lot, and then we
Mm-hmm.
got in the car, and we sat there silent for maybe 30 minutes. Like she was
Yeah.
crying, her eyes, her whole face. I'm talking about eyes just busted red, and she looked at me, snot dripping. She eating her snot and
No, I
I
didn't.
don't know. I was like, I'm just nasty, and I was so dumbfounded because I honestly I didn't think something like that could ever happen to us. Obviously,
Yeah.
we were engaging in the deed, so I was again. It was beyond me. I was like, man, you crazy. I don't know what you're talking about, but it was very surreal because we knew at that point that Cameron, was not at that point, but we looking back now that at that point that's when Cameron was going to come into this world, whether we were ready for it or not, or ready for him. Sorry, and
Mm-hmm.
we had to either make a decision whether I believe I did ask you at the very beginning. I know this was years. This was 10 years ago before like the talks of like abortion were getting really really big and stuff like that. So my first question was to her was I believe I didn't say do you want to abort it. I don't think I said that first. I think I asked her do you want to keep it, and then I followed up with that question do you want to abort it? You know, because I don't think. Did you really give me an answer about wanting to keep it right away, or you?
Yeah,
I know
I
you.
said no.
Okay.
I said no. I told you I'm keeping it,
Okay.
and I think I told him I'm gonna keep it whether you stay around or not. Because
Yeah.
I was just I've always been against it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know because I knew what I was doing and I knew what I was getting myself into. So it'll be different. I think you know other subjects are different, but if I'm mentally like I know what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that I shouldn't be doing it. You know, I had to take responsibilities on my actions.
Especially at that age, you know,
Yeah.
we were 17,
Yeah.
you know, having about to, I mean, finding out we were pregnant.
Yeah,
So
we weren't even over age.
yeah, we were 18 when we
Yeah.
graduated, and that's when he was born. But I think between September to like May, at least for just the experience of being a senior, because that time of your life, you're having a good time. You're getting ready for college. You know, you're getting ready to go out on your own.
Homecoming,
All of that.
everything. Just enjoying your last year of high school.
And at least for me, I noticed that she didn't have a great time at all. I know she tried at the longest time to hide it from everybody at school. I remember her wearing sweaters and like two sweaters at one point in time, like a sweater and a sweatshirt.
Oh no, I would wear my Leatherman.
What's a Leatherman?
My
You mean Letterman? Is it a Letterman?
whatever.
Leatherman.
You know what I'm talking about.
Leatherman's
So I
not
would
men.
wear a hoodie. I would wear a hoodie, and then I would wear my jacket. Just to try to prevent from me showing, because I don't think I told anybody at
Yeah.
all for a couple months. It was I know the way that my parents found out was that how did I do it? Oh, I told my cousin first.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful because she told my parents, so I didn't have to tell them, which was so much better. But I still remember, I think my cousin called my mom, and she told my mom. And mind you, I think me and my cousin, we ended up pregnant around the same age. So I felt like I was able to
Connect more
talk
with
to her.
her.
Yeah, connect more with her because she had been through the same thing. And so she went and told my mom, and then she called my brother. And I remember I was walking. At this point, nobody knew any at all. I was walking from behind the cafeteria, you know, the exit
Yeah.
where the bus ramps are, and I was walking to the field house. And then I remember I got the message from my brother saying, "Are you effing kidding me right now?" And mind you, when my brother was in high school, like from a previous video, my brother would always take care of me no matter what, right? So I think I felt like ever since he left, I kind of started, you know, doing my own thing. And so I felt like I disappointed my brother big time because I always looked up to my brother. And so when he texted me that, I remember I just wanted to start crying. Like I was just so scared and terrified.
You thought he was gonna beat you up or something?
No, I think I was just scared of the outcome of like what they were going to tell me. Like I knew that I had to eventually to, you know. And then the way that my dad found out was because my mom actually called my dad, and it was the funniest conversation. Now that I'm older, she was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you about your daughter." And my dad, so my parents are divorced, and my dad's like, "What? She has a boyfriend?" And then she was like, "No, you're about
More than that.
she was like, "You're about to be a grandpa." And my dad got infuriated. I remember, I think I was around McDonald's, and I was coming out. I was driving out when my dad called me. And then he was like, he went off on me. Like, completely went off on me. And then, but throughout the pregnancy, me and my dad finally, like, at one point we fell off, so we stopped talking my whole entire pregnancy. And even me and my brother got in a fight at one point. And me and my brother never argue. Like, we've never really gotten in a fight at all, for the most part. So it was very strange. Like I went through my whole pregnancy without talking to my dad, without talking to my brother. I barely spoke with my mom. So it was pretty tough because as it is, most of my friends, you know, I have my close friends that really stayed with me the entire time, but I couldn't go with them to a lot of activities that we were having from school. I had to pretty much leave all the clubs that I was in school, all the activities and everything that I used to do in school because I couldn't do it anymore. One of the clubs that I was in was where we used to go to the elementary schools.
And then what kind of message are we sending
Yeah,
if a pregnant girl goes up in there?
so we used to do a lot
definitely.
of volunteer work, a lot of helping kids in need. We used to go, and I used to go read to different kids in school and everything. And I couldn't do it anymore. Once I started showing, my teacher was like, I'm sorry, like, I can't send you.
Yeah. And I know for her, like that whole thing was really, I wouldn't say terrifying, huh?
It's traumatic.
It was very traumatic for her, and I'm just so grateful that after everything, Cameron came out as healthy as he could. But I just looking back now, I know we haven't had a second child yet in the 10 years that we've been together, but it's weird that happened, and we've kind of overcome that. You know what I'm saying? And just looking back, I just feel so bad because I know that I wasn't supportive as I should have been. At least I wasn't supportive to like the last, not even up to the last part. I think I was just in no man's land the entire time you were pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I was just beside myself, and I didn't
come. You were like enjoying yourself.
Even though I felt that I really wasn't enjoying anything because I'm like, she's over there just struggling to have her family not even look at her or care for her or even care about her situation. You know what I'm saying? And then when my parents found out, my dad wasn't really upset. I think my mom was very disappointed to the point where she didn't talk to me for like weeks when she found out. I think the day I told her, she said she got home and she walked up to me and I told her. She went in her room, didn't come out. I didn't talk to that woman for weeks. Like at all. I would see her at home and she would cook for dinner for us and stuff like that. But she didn't talk to me for weeks. And then I think a couple of weeks, I think into the new year of 2012, I think she said, "So what are you gonna do? You're not gonna live here." I was like, "Oh." She's like, "Y'all not gonna live here?" I was like, "Oh Lord, I don't want no babies in my house," And then my dad, he tried to be supportive, but he was also visibly disappointed in me. And again, you don't want that for your kids. I'm sure whoever's watching, if you have kids, you don't want them having kids in high school. You want to be able to, realistically, you want to be able to financially sustain at least yourself before thinking about expanding and having a family. That's what we struggle with for the first 8 years of this kid's life. We were always struggling. We were always broke. And it's not a fun way to live. And we were living at her mom's house for the most part.
And even though I was living at my mom's house, even though I was going to school full time, I was going to college full time, and I was also working full time. Because I used to work overnight, and then from there I used to go straight to college, get out, pick up my oldest. So my oldest is actually my little brother that we've taken on since he was 2. So that's why we feel like we have 2 kids already. And then whenever I were to get home to get my son, he will go to work.
Yeah.
But the way that my mom saw it was that the responsibility that she put on me is that, a lot of kids have children at a young age and they live with their parents, they get their money together. But my mom saw it as, you had a kid,
y'all got to pay rent.
You not even pay rent. Like, I'm in charge of paying all the bills at home.
Oh yeah, that
was all my money was going to just the bills at the house. I was pretty much supporting the whole household. Even though my dad was paying for the house itself, I was paying for the rest of the bills, like insurance, light, gas, water, car note, everything. And so, I mean...
And then with my little bitty paycheck from Academy, I would buy some groceries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I remember, you remember when I was working those 2 jobs, too? I was working at Kroger and then UPS before you started working and stuff like that. Man, those days was rough because...
No, you started working at Costco.
That was after I left, though.
That's true.
Or they fired me for UPS because I wasn't showing up to work. I was too tired. I was like...
Cameron was 1 when I started at Costco.
Yeah, I got fired from there too. I couldn't wake up. I was so tired just trying to...
I don't even know how.
I was tired. There's one night so I'm sure if you have a baby, if you've had a baby before, kids. So usually babies wake up during the middle of the night. They don't always sleep through. So I'm sitting there. We're in the bed. It's all four. It was all four of us, right? It was her little brother, or she was in the end. It was her, Michael, and then her little brother, and Cameron, all baby, all like wrapped up right here, and I'm in the other side, right? So he started waking up, and Judas is like, "Hey, get up, get the formula." I was like, "Okay, I'll get up right now." And then we had a whole tray of a bunch of bottles, clean bottles ready to go. We had some the baby formula water or whatever have you. So I was sitting there I'm talking about 75% sleep like this. Poured it in the bottle, and then I'm like, here you go, here.
On the floor.
And I'm like, and I'm putting it in.
Give me an empty bottle.
I tried to put and then I was like, why are my legs and my thighs and my crotch all cold? I was like, what's going on? I was like, oh Lord, it's water, and I was like, back to sleep.
So he worked at Costco, right? And he worked the same hours I did. I do not understand why this man was always tired.
It was hard.
And I know maybe because I don't know.
You know why
like
it was
19?
harder? Because I lift 3 times more than this woman. That's why it was so much harder for me. Now that I'm looking back, that's why I was so tired.
So what were you lifting that I did not lift at Costco?
The entire world. That's what I was doing.
What were you doing?
I was lifting everything.
Even the big shelves, like if y'all have ever gone to Costco, the big red and white box, you know those big heavy shelves.
I know what you're talking about.
The ones that at Costco, like the actual metal shelves that you put.
That's imaginary. You just making up stuff.
I was literally lifting that by myself. So you tell me what did I not?
I was lifting 2 in it by myself. Man.
Okay.
I had one in this arm, one in the other arm, and I had a third one on top of my head. That's what I was doing. That's why I was tired.
No. So mind you, when he got fired from Costco, I applied.
They fired, but they suspended me, and I came back and said, "You fired."
I started working there, and I lasted almost because I recently left. I lasted there almost
9 years.
Almost 9 years.
Yeah.
I was going to my 9th year, and I still remember. I used to go in at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 1 in the morning, sometimes midnight.
Man, whatever. That was job.
And I was able to wake up. I was able to wake up, get my butt to work, get home, deal with the kids, do my schoolwork.
I don't know what it was. I guess just looking back, I don't know. Maybe because I just wasn't. My body just couldn't take it. I guess I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Because he always told me, and I always felt bad. So when I was staying at home, because for the first year of my son's life, I stayed home, and he worked. And then I always felt bad. Like he used to get home from work and he used to sleep all day as soon as he came home. He would wake up to eat dinner, play with him a little, and then he would go back to sleep. And he would still not wake up for work. I'm like, dude. And I actually used to wake up and wake you up. And I'll be like, you need to go to work. And then like, I want to say 45 minutes later, sometimes I will wake up and then, to check on the kids. And I would just see him sitting down in the corner asleep.
Yeah,
like,
it was really bad. Like I'd be dressed, like she wake me up, I get dressed. There was in her mom's house. There was a chair in the corner. I get dressed with my shirt on, my collar shirt on, brushing my teeth, and then come back to kiss the kids and kiss old girl. Go to good night, and then I sit in the chair. I'm like, okay.
Knock
out, boy. It was out of there.
I was always tired. Don't get me wrong, that job does drain you, but.
And then on top of that, we would go to her family meetings. Not her family meetings, but like she had to get together a couple of times with some of her cousins. We go to their house. The kids be playing in the backyard.
He'll be knocked out.
I'll be in the chair like this. Knocked out. And then I'll be like, she's like, are you okay, Michael? Oh, Miguelito, are you okay? Knocked out. He's rough, boy. That job was the worst. But like, I will say, if I could go back and do it again, I feel that I would just stand by you the entire time. I feel, or I believe, that the experience of you being pregnant wouldn't have been as bad if I was able to get my stuff together and say, hey, you know what? This is not your fault. It's not. We're not at fault in a bad way. We made this decision, and I need to, do my part to act like a man and man up and say, hey, you know what? Instead of her being alone, because I saw her in the hallways all the time in high school. She was just so down. I'm like, I need to be there with her, holding her hand and making sure she's okay. But I didn't do any of that. And I know we've talked about this. I've said, sorry 100 times over. And I wish I could just go back and do better again. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, because I remember when I started senior year, I was so ahead with my credits and everything. So I was able to get 2 periods off. So I didn't go to first or 7th period. I didn't have any class. So I would only go from 2nd and 6th period. And even that, I think I was able to get a third period off, but they weren't providing a third period off.
Yeah,
Like
there's
I had
only
enough
two periods.
credits. Yeah, I had
Yeah,
enough credits. All I needed were my actual basic
your core
classes. Which,
classes.
yeah, but I took first period off, which helped because I didn't have morning sickness, but I it's like my blood pressure would always go down. So I
You were
always felt
anemic.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was yeah. So I was always weak, and I remember that I used to drive to school, and there was a lot of times that I couldn't even get out of my car,
Yeah.
and I would stay there. But somehow I made it to where I didn't. I graduated with ABs all the way through, and I didn't have to take any of my what's it called, my semester test,
Yeah, I
my
remember when you
finals.
graduated.
Yeah,
She showed look. She looked like a big old muffin on that stage. Boy, I said, "Dang, big old girl."
yeah, because I had like 1 week left, and this is the thing though, like my whole pregnancy, I think I wasn't really eating at all. I wasn't
Nah,
taking my vitamins. I wasn't eating. Maybe I ate once a day. That's because either my coaches or my teachers would make me eat, or my mom would pack me a lunch, and then I just wouldn't eat the rest of the day. I generally was not hungry. I still
that's why
had that
Cameron came out
issue,
so dang big. Cause
but
he probably
but
ate everything up in you.
yes, because after I gave birth. I don't know if for the moms out there, once you give birth, they go ahead and reweigh you, like while you're still in the bed. I weighed less than before I got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything was gone. Once that baby came out, I remember my stomach. I still remember how my stomach fell. It's just deflated completely. And then I weighed, I think, like 138, 140.
You
After
ever
I
seen a
had
placenta
him.
sac come out? It's nasty.
Be
I was like,
quiet.
what is that? It's nasty. You little ghost or
Anyway.
something. Get out of the way.
Anyway, but yeah, he was 9 pounds.
Yeah, he was a
Nine
big old
pounds.
fat baby.
Yeah.
It was fun though. I was playing. I remember I was doing some college classes at that point, like right after graduation when he was born, and I was sitting there playing video games while she was like giving birth. I was
He
playing.
was, you were out of it. But
But it was very humbling for me when the doctor handed me Cameron, and he was all crying and and he was all yellow and red. I was like, what's this little wrinkly thing? Looked like a big old raisin, and he was all like all thick and fat and stuff like that,
yeah, he looked like he was a month old when he was
and
born.
just big old. He was heavy, and then
He had,
he was all crying and everything. And the doctor handed it to me. He stopped crying and he. I don't think he opened his eyes yet, but he was such a big thing, a big old thing, and I didn't want to let him go, but she's like, nurse like, we have to take him, Mr. Rose. We have to go make sure he's okay. Make sure you run all the tests. I was like, okay, don't take a baby, don't take a baby. But it was very humbling, and it opened my eyes. I'm like, this is the beginning. This battle, I'm not really a battle, but this is going to be a long and hard
long
journey,
ride.
very very long journey, and you need. To, I was in looking back, even then I still wasn't ready. And at this point in my life, 10 years later,
we're still not ready.
and I'm not saying we. No, I will say this: we are way more equipped than we were 5 and 6 years ago. I think so. I think with everything we've been through with Cameron and just our situation and just life in general. Again, I'm knock on wood. I know that there are things to come, but I think we've come a long way as parents.
Yeah.
And just
We've grown with him.
yeah, and that's the important part too. Any of you out there that have had kids at the age of 17, 18, 19, 20, you yourself, I'm not saying we're babies, but we're still trying to figure out where the hell we fit in this world, where we fit within ourselves, and trying to figure that out while trying to financially stabilize yourself, trying to go to school, trying to make sure you got clothes on your back and you're fed, and then double that down with the kids and stuff like that. It's very hard. Not making excuses, but that whole process itself is very, very grueling.
It teaches you. I think it teaches you responsibility, and it really prepares you for life in a way.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know,
In certain aspects, yeah, I agree.
And even though, for example, right now most of our friends are having kids now.
For the first time, and
Yes,
we're
and
we
we're
going on
already
29.
like,
We're 29 right now. Shoot.
yeah, we're going on 30, and I mean, our son hits middle school. Our oldest, my little brother, hits high school next year. So we're technically almost to that point to
Yeah.
where we're like, bye kids.
Oh, for real. Just get thee up out of here. You ain't got to get up out of here, but you got to leave. Bye. So.
I just, yeah, it's just, it feels rewarding knowing that the good thing that comes about having kids at a young age is that they're fixing to go off to college, you know, and it's still worrisome. I think knowing that they might leave, or even if they stay home and go to college here, it's fine. But we don't have to be constantly watching a baby, you know.
And we also do not condone having kids in high school at all. Don't get that wrong. That's the only thing that has come good about having kids at this age. But I do not recommend it for anyone.
Yeah, because we'll be mid-30s, and Cameron will be out of high school by then.
Yeah, so
mid-30s.
I would say for those young cats out there, enjoy your life.
Yes.
You enjoy your high school years because, you know, you see that significant other or that lady or that guy or whatever you're into, you know, I'll say it this way. There are plenty fish out there that are at college or in your working environment 2, 3, and 4, and 5 times more than what's up in your high school. For real.
Yeah.
For real. I don't know. I'm just looking back. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have wanted to end up with Judith, but looking back, you know, if, you know,
we would have been able to go off to college and really enjoy life. But I think that's what comes since we had kids at such a young age, that we actually want to enjoy now our older, you know, our older years.
Mm-hmm.
Because we spent, while everyone was out enjoying college and everything, now they're settling down. Now we're ready to go out and
shoot, we was out there struggling, trying to make sure we was making ends meet. It was like, we got in the formula house, or what about the WIC card? What's up with that?
Oh, man. Buying formula.
The EBT card.
Buying formula was hard, man.
Oh, yes.
It was hard because he was eating a lot.
And I think I'm guilty of trying to feed the boy when I didn't know how to make him be quiet.
Yeah, so
That's why he's so big.
I had dealt with babies before.
Oh my God.
His way was that he was
crying?
Oh,
give him a bottle. Give him a bottle right now. What a formula. Get him. And then I think on top of that, sometimes I knew he wasn't ready to eat when he drink it and throw it out. I was like, I'll pick it up, eat it, drink it, drink this bottle. Oh, man.
We were going through cans like crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not feeding him that much.
I think I was overfeeding him. And it's funny, though. He was so, like, big and fat as a baby. But between, like, 3 to 7, he was skinny as a lamppost. He was...
yeah, he was skinny. He stretched out. And then I remember the doctor used to tell me, oh, he could eat whatever he wants. Like, because he can eat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he can eat. Even
Picked
now,
up my appetite. All he want to do now is eat my food. I had some waffle crisps. So that the cereal they had way back in the day, had some at Walmart. I bought a whole box for myself, getting ready to eat, and I come back down the stairs the other day, half that box gone already. Just ate all my food, man. Just eating up all my food. Oh my Lord! But
he eats your food, you eat my food.
Because you don't need it. Both y'all small. I'm a growing boy. I need all the food I can get.
This is what I tell him all the time. He's growing sideways. That's all he's growing.
You're funny. You're But no, I appreciate y'all just taking the time to come back and watch another podcast of ours. But hopefully you guys had some laughs and learned a little bit more about us if you didn't know already. But we're gonna try to make another video really, really soon and post it so that we can keep you guys up to date with what's going on with us.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
En Casa de Arroz.